My name is Sheila Thornton, and I'm speaking from experience on why we need to set laws in our schools in reference to the Restraint and Seclusion Bill. I am a mother of 4 boys, ages 13, 10, 8, and 4. I also run a licensed daycare of 8 children daily and have worked in the early childhood field over 15 years. My 8-year-old has opened my eyes to our education system that I can't believe exists with little or no laws on restraint and seclusion. We set laws in our country on many things to protect people involved, and this should be no different. Children have died, and if laws don't change, it will continue. My 8-year-old has not had the kind of school experience I would want any child to have. As an early childhood educator, I am trained to know every child that comes in my home may or may not know how to work in a group of 8 children, and that all children have their own stories and family background. We are taught, and it's also in writing in our licensing laws in the state of Wisconsin for child care providers, that if I should ever have to restrain a child, I will notify the family immediately and a positive behavioral intervention plan will be set up. In order to set up a positive intervention, I also am aware of functional behavioral assessment. I was shocked when my child was displaying behavior in the classroom and the teacher would punish or remove him, but couldn't tell me what was triggering or upsetting him. I asked for a functional behavioral assessment, which was never done. They would place Calvin in the office for periods of time rather than teach him or talk to him to find out why he was showing the behavior. They would even call me to come and get him due to Calvin taking his shoes off and basically shutting down. I felt my only answer was to homeschool him. I did this for a year and wanted to try the schools again. We didn't see a lot of the behaviors during the repeating of kindergarten through the virtual schools and thought he just needed that time of growth. We started him back in the schools for his first grade year and the behaviors returned. The teacher suggested we just up Calvin's medications. She again could not tell me what she thought was triggering the behaviors. I was upset that they believed this was just behaviors of his choice and he could control them. The final straw was when I called one day to see how Calvin was doing, and the office aide informed me that the principal had restrained my child until he was so exhausted he could no longer scream. I couldn't tell you the disappointment I had in our schools that day. I asked what behavior he was displaying, and they said he was sent to the office, they didn't know why, and that he was mad and climbed up on the table, so they restrained him. I did not see this as a reason to restrain a child, and yet no one was looking again at why he got mad in the first place. I pulled Calvin and we did homeschooling once again and began testing at Franciscan Skimp. Calvin was diagnosed with Asperger's, anxiety disorder, and ADHD. His test showed he was academically behind in many areas. He was using behavior as a communication to the teachers to talk, and they missed that Calvin was trying to tell them through his body language that something was wrong. Calvin's behaviors kept getting worse because no one was listening. He could not speak his feelings. We have to protect the rights of children and make sure teachers are getting proper education on behaviors of children and why they may display them, and catch them before they are too much to control. I truly believe with this practice, restraint and seclusion is not needed in our schools. Teachers need to know how to positively redirect the behaviors so every child has an education they deserve, and it's our responsibility as the adults to be their voices. We placed Calvin back in school, and he is off to a great start because of my doing, not the initiative of the school. If you put more restrictions on the use of seclusion and restraint and get teachers and staff to get proper training on positive behavioral intervention, you are not just helping the child learn to grow into a successful adult in our society, you are helping the teachers be better teachers with tools to help these children, and all staff are uniform in handling every child. Children in the classroom are not learning that secluding or restraining someone is acceptable, and it teaches them to be more compassionate and helpful of differences and hardships of others at an early age. It gives parents a peace of mind that their child is getting the education and directions they need to succeed. Thank you.